readers, our next book a day is A Day in the Life of a Backyard Jumping Spider. Jumper by Jessica Lanan. And you notice that it's an honor book. Jumper. To Rose and Matt. What do you notice about the setting? Notice the trees, the bushes. Talk about where you think this setting might be. A Day in the Life of a Backyard Jumping Spider. Jumper. What if you were very small? Smaller than a cat or dog? Smaller than a bar of soap? Or a bottle cap? As small as a bean. What would your world be like? Readers, I'll tell you what impresses me about this page. The writer's putting us in a point of view of a being, but it's asking us to have empathy for those things are really big in our world, but those things that are super small. Think of another critter around you that might be just as small. So as you listen to this story, open your heart and have empathy for something that little. And put yourself in its shoes. Look from its eyes. That is Jumper's world. What do you notice about Jumper? How would you describe Jumper? Jumper is hungry and ready to hunt. She walks along the garden fence. Her tufted feet let her hook onto its surface. A line of silk shows where she has been. Imagine walking not just on the ground, but on the walls and ceiling too. You wouldn't need to be afraid of heights with your own built-in safety line. That is how Jumper moves. The corner garden is a jungle where she can find and stalk her prey. But Jumper also faces dangers of her own. Make a prediction here. What might those dangers be? Try to come up with two. Uh-oh. What if you could sense tiny vibrations through your elbows and knees? You wouldn't miss a bug's soft steps or the rush of beating wings. That is how Jumper feels. Can you feel what Jumper feels? I hope so. Work on that. That's your empathy. Putting yourself in the shoes, not necessarily of just another person, but of nature, big and smaller than us. Jumper hides from the Carolina chickadee just in time. What? What's a Carolina chickadee? Oh yeah, readers, that's a chickadee. A chickadee is a bird. Made it just in time. Jumper climbs among the beans. A grasshopper is warming in the sun, and she would make a tasty meal. The grasshopper is big and strong, but Jumper is a gifted hunter. Can she clear the distance? What do you think, readers? Whoa. What if you could jump 5 times your body length? You could cross a whole garden without a running start. That's impressive. Picture that. Imagine doing that yourself. Be Jumper through the story. Feel how that would feel. I think you'd feel free. That is how Jumper jumps. It's a pretty cool adaptation. But she is not fast enough today. Down, down. Jumper ventures deeper into the garden, still searching for prey. Meanwhile, the drone of wings grows in the distance. What's that? See all the drones of the wings. You detect sound using tiny hairs in your ears. What if your whole body was covered in these hairs and you could hear through your arms and your legs? Wow. How would that feel? How would that feel to feel that? Hear all those sounds? Talk about what sounds you hear. Looking at this page, can you see 3 different sounds? How about here? What's that? Notice the Z got really big. Why? Why did it get so big? What is that? Pause and talk about it. That is how Jumper hears. She scoots to safety, hidden from the parasitic wasp. Ooh. Glad that Jumper can hear with arms and legs. Quiet comes again to the garden. Jumper walks through plants that seem tall enough to reach the clouds. But what will she find to eat? A shadow passes overhead. Jumper turns her dark eyes to the sky. There are other things in the garden, strange things, huge and incomprehensible. Whoa. What is it? If you close one eye, the world seems flat, blurry. Imagine if you had 8 eyes instead of only 2. Then you could see in every direction at once, above and behind and all around. That would be awesome. That is how Jumper sees. But also, if we are Jumper and we go back to this page, and from that awesomeness might be my point of view, but we gotta feel from Jumper's point of view. I think that would be scary. And realizing it was a hand, but from a jumping spider's point of view, that would be scary. Footsteps fade away, but now there is something else, a softer buzz. From nervous wings, Jumper climbs for a better view. Her keen eyes help her judge the distance, and she pulls a safety line of silk and fixes it fast. And when the moment is just right, what do you think? Jumper's going to do when the moment is just right. Oh boy, what do you think? She jumps. Oh, she does it. She got her prey. Wow. Remember, point of view. Wow. What does that feel like for Jumper, not us? She is a hunter in her garden jungle, both predator and prey. Our small and stealthy friend and neighbor. Always around. Jumper. How does Jumper do it? Spider paws, silk tougher than steel, in a world of vibrations. Readers, we call these adaptations. Jumper is able to use her spider paws and her silk, which we saw drag behind her, that's tougher than steel. It's made of silk fibers. And a world of vibrations, which you see the spider leg in the picture, and the vibrations coming off to disturb the surface for the spider to understand. So it has wonderful senses as well as an adaptation. They are incomparable athletes, which means they have great agility and abilities to move and to jump. And then the one says, can spiders hear? Which we heard a little bit in the story. And then we see they have exceptional vision. And they have better vision than most small mammals. Spiders everywhere. Here's a diagram, the anatomy of a jumping spider. And below it you see the regal jumper, as well as the species that Jumper was. And up top you see another species. So you see 3 different species of the jumping spider, which I'm sure could do extra research on to learn more about these different species of jumping spiders. Here's their life cycle. Could learn more about that. The dangers and growing pains of these spiders. And a glossary. So this definitely sounds like a non-fiction story. It's got important vocabulary, tells us about a real species of spider in the world. We learn about its habitat and how it survives. We learn about its adaptations, which it's either what the spider Jumper had to survive or its behavior to help it survive. Happy reading.